Hello, quantum community. I am Adora Winquist. I had a few technical difficulties. Here we are. This is the launch session for my DNA virtual book workshop. So, this is the first in the series, and I'd like to welcome all of you, those that are here right now. Please, we invite your questions and those that will join in the future. There are many, many ways that you can engage with the Adora Winquist quantum community. So, we will be exploring my book, which is Detox, Nourish, Activate Plant and Vibrational Medicine for Energy, Mood, and Love, co authored with my ally with the plants, Dr. Lulu Shemek. And so, this is a wonderful book and a revolutionary guide that you can empower and curate your path of self mastery. So the idea is that we're going to meet once a month right here live on YouTube. We'll post the videos later. So please be sure to like the Adora Winquist channel and subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. So for today, this is an introductory discussion. So some things have as we go through and dive deeper into. You might want to have a journal to write down, a pen, of course, a cup of tea, perhaps one of the tea recipes from the book, one of the crystal infused water ceremony recipes for the book, and we'll be exploring that in future segments. And of course, if you're overseas, you might want to have something a little bit stronger as we explore these, maybe even some kombucha. So this book, I want to give you a little bit of a background and history. In contemplating and preparing to sit down and write this, myself and my co author, Dr. Lulu, really started to think about our many, many customers, our clients, patients over the decades of working with people and being in service, and really looking at the areas that we can get stuck in, right? Why have I tried all of these different modalities of energy healing? I've worked with essential oils, I've worked with meditation, I've had many types of therapists in the past, and yet these same patterns continue to reappear in my life. So, why is that? Why is it when we have a deep desire to heal and to change and to transform that we get stuck in the same patterns in our relationships, in our finances, in our careers, and with our family? And of course, with how we care for ourselves and how our health and vibrancy show up versus. Um, Having patterns of chronic or acute disease, and whether that disease is something physically that shows up in our body or something from an emotional, a mental, or even a spiritual perspective, right? When we're looking to forge a deeper communion and connection with divine source. So looking at these many patterns that as healers and therapists and practitioners that we can see, we came to three primary areas. And so when you look at the title of the book, which is Plant and Vibrational Medicine for Energy, Mood, and Love, those three areas, energy, mood, and love, we identified connect into three primary energy centers. And with that, three primary organs. And so when we think of energy, we of course think about the adrenal system, right? And how many of us are walking around with some degree of adrenal fatigue from environmental stress, from internal, from external stressors that we've carried in life, that we've carried generationally as well. And when you think about the adrenal system, of course, we think about the root chakra and our connection to the earth, and how this is a fundamental way that we are able to not only honor our physical existence, but the fact that we've come into this life at this particular point in time, in these physical structures, the bodies that we have, the families, right? Our tribal connections with our bloodlines, our mother and our father line, and all of our family members as well. And so knowing that we've come into this deep connection with the earth, and of course, all of the belief systems that are brought up around that. So those are explored in depth in the book. And then when we look at the concept, the idea of mood and what it means to have a good mood, or am I in a good mood? Am I in a bad mood? Is my mood modulating so many times in one day that I have a hard time keeping track of it myself? How can I have a better mood more consistently? And aren't we collectively at this apex of mood based discontent as a species, where we're looking at patterns of anxiousness, of depression, of many challenges and gradations of mental illness, and feeling isolated, especially after the past few years. So, when we explore our moods, we of course come into a deep introspection of our brain and nervous system, and also how this connects in with our crown chakra and our connection to divine source. For those of you that know my work, you know that I love to intertwine the three primary pillars of esoteric philosophy, plant and vibrational medicine, of course, but also psycho-spiritual dynamics. And when we look at the brain and when we look at the nervous system, and of course the mind, which is a very separate interpretation and construct of the brain. But when we look at these areas and we connect with the energy of divine source, we find that there's so many places to be introspective, right? To look at our belief system, to look at how our mind works, right? What are our habitual thought patterns and processes? So, this is a rich area to explore and look at not just mood, but our connection to our spirituality. And then, of course, when we come into the idea of love, we're coming into the heart space. We're, of course, looking at it from not only a cardiovascular system and perspective, but also an energetic and spiritual, because the heart is where we connect with all of humanity, right? Is through our sacred human hearts that we're able to open and love another, but also receive love, receive depths of intimacy through connecting with another human soul. And so there's so many aspects when we contemplate the heart, which is rich with many aspects of our past, right? Past heartache, heartbreak that we carry with us that inhibits us from being more open, more receptive, more trusting, right? Opening to love after we've been hurt in the past. So there's much to be able to explore in this area as well. And also knowing that our hearts, if we come back to the esoteric perspective for a moment, right? When we hear often as above, so below, that we are open, receptive, and connected to both the higher realms and also to the earth. And our heart is where these energies and these aspects of light and wisdom and divine knowledge come together, and they merge and they can converge here at the heart. So we will be doing a lot of work looking at our own hearts and how we can connect more deeply with the 0 point field of limitless creation, limitless potential, because that access point is deep within our own heart space. And yet we can't come in to find that space until we've gone through and done the work, the process work of letting go of things that no longer serve us. And so that brings me back to the point of DNA. Why is Detox, Nourish, Activate in the title of the book? And so it is not only a play on words, because we all want to detox, nourish, and activate ourselves, but this book is how we can heal our core level trauma at the DNA level. And so you'll see this is a very unique system in three parts. And how do we detox to then nourish and then to activate? And why do we do that? And so there's so many analogies for this. One of the ones that I really love because I'm such a firm believer in nutrition and healthy food, and it's a big part of my background and education. And I also love to cook. And so, if you think that today you have the capacity, you have an unlimited budget to go to your very favorite market, whatever market that is, or maybe it's a farmer's market if you're buying local and supporting your local farms, which I, of course, encourage. But so you have an unlimited budget to go and purchase all of the foods that you know are going to just feed your body, mind, and soul, right? They are going to nourish your physicality. You're going to buy all of your herbs to go home and make your teas or make your kombucha, or purchase it water, which not all of us have access to. And it is such a not only precious commodity, a blessed element, but so crucial to our greater health, our well being, our vibration, in taking clean water daily, consistently. And so you are out there shopping and you're adding everything to your cart and you're getting your herbal teas and you're going and getting some essential oils from the store and you're getting some skincare products. Everything that you know is going to holistically set you up to create the conditions for your most successful, vibrant health, well being, and harmony. And then you go home and you're feeling elated and really expanded because you've purchased everything that is delighting every aspect of who you are, every one of the trillions of cells within your body. And you open the door to your home and it is filled with clutter. There is clutter not just in the kitchen, but every room that you have to walk through to get to the kitchen. And so, how does that feel? How does that affect your vibration? Where does your mind go? Are you in the moment or do you start to feel overwhelmed? Do you move into a past experience or aspect of yourself because you see so many representations of the past all around you? And by the time you get to the kitchen and you open up the fridge, open up the cabinet, cabinets are full and cluttered, and the refrigerator is filled with food that is breaking down, right? It is perhaps rotting, it is not in the best condition. There's things that you have left in there, like we have all done for far too long. Well, how can you put the fresh, beautiful food into your refrigerator? Certainly, there's not even the space, but it's going to break down more quickly from the bacteria from the food that is already in the refrigerator rotting, right? So we have to clear out the old to make way for the new. It's the same with our closets, it's the same with our computers. We can go on to so many different analogies. But that is a very important part and why we focus on the detox aspect of the book. Because we're not just detoxing our physicality, our cellular structures of toxins, we're also detoxing our emotions, our mind, our belief systems that no longer serve us so we can make room for the greater magnificence that we are, the greater light that we can embody, and the greater creativity that we can go out and begin to masterfully intend on designing the life of our dreams. So once we've created the space, we've cleared out the old, then we can come into a deep place of nourishment, which is self care, self love, habits and practices that honor who you are as a divine being of light, having a wonderfully transformative, always changing, always shifting, always open to elevating human experience. So, those are practices that you care for your body with that good, clean water, with food that you know is healthy, that is fresh, that is organic, fruits and vegetables, with things that you know that are going to help to enliven your being and not just your mood, but your cells as well. Right. And so that's when we come into nourish. We also nourish through practices of self care, of honoring ourselves, of self compassion, self acceptance, self forgiveness. And the forgiveness piece is one of the most profoundly liberating practices that we can cultivate along with practices of gratitude, right? Practices that expand our emotional resilience, right? And our spiritual well being. Then we can go into the activation mode, right? And activate the full power and vital life force that exists within us as a sovereign being, someone that is free to go and to harness our divine light as well as our earthly energetic, the power, the might within us to be able to say, I have this idea. I know this idea is going to be of great service to myself, my family, my loved ones, and also contribute to the betterment of the world in the most benevolent way, right? We have these wonderful, blessed lives to be able to create not only positive impact with our own beings, our own bodies, our own minds, our own spirits, our own emotions, our own families and communities, but also to contribute the most benevolent, positive impact to the greater good of all. And that is what happens when we come and we activate our life force, we activate our love. We open to a place of deep compassion and love to give and to receive for one another, right? We activate and harness the fullness of our energy to make the most of each day, to truly embody our own path of self mastery, moving from places within us where we've been living a life of surviving, of struggling, to the points of self actualization and coming into a life of thriving. And so there are all these wonderful introspective aspects that are contained within the book, and how we've broken it down to detox, to nourish, and activate these three core systems of your body. Core systems from a physiological perspective, and core systems from an energetic perspective, a spiritual perspective, an emotional perspective, a mental perspective as well, because we are multifaceted. We are incredibly complex and we are multidimensional. And what we are able to create, to contribute, to experience, to understand, to embody is truly limitless. So there are so many wonderful aspects of this book. We'll be talking more about the Freedom Photon Wheel and how you can work with that with 11 different alchemical interventions like essential oils, like crystals, like nutrition, like herbal medicine, like meditation, to find out what is the unique formula for your path of self mastery. So, again, these workshops are meant to be brief, consumable ways to tantalize you, to awaken and aliven and inspire you to become the master of your own dreams, to become not only the alchemist, but your own alchemy as well. So, in wrap up, if you don't have the book, you can purchase this at, if you're overseas, aeon.co.uk with our publisher in London. And there is actually, I just got a copy of this yesterday. This is from the UK, Kindred Spirit. There's a code in here. If you're shopping at the Aeon website, DN20 will give you a promotional price until the end of this month in April. You can also purchase on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and if you'd like a signed copy for me, you can purchase at AdoraWinquist.com. So I invite you to come back and join me every month for these wonderful discussions. Bring your questions, bring your notes, bring your heart, bring your soul. Um, we all have such a unique gift and light at the soul level, and this life is such a beautiful opportunity to come into deeper embodiment of who we are and why we're here. So visit AdoraWinquist.com, sign up for our newsletter, and find all of the wonderful ways that you can join our quantum community. We have meditations here on YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you soon. Blessings.